Okay, to begin, let's talk a little bit about using the discussion board in general. Why it is, as some would say, the meat and potatoes of the online classroom. First of all, the discussion board is a place where students can collaborate. It's also a place where you can work with your students, have students work with the content, and a place to form social and academic intellectual connections. It is a useful place for discourse in the online world. It increases interactivity, community, provides a place for application of content, and a place for students to meet, learn, and talk with one another. There's a lot of advantages to using the discussion board for faculty, and I want to just touch on those briefly. One of the things in the online world that you do not have in the face-to-face world is the ability to have a meta view of your class and your students. The discussion board provides a place for you to listen in on their learning. Because the discussion board is a text-driven environment, if you post information in there for the students to work with or think about and ask them to either respond, to provide opinion, or to have conversation about it, you actually get a little window into their minds, how they are thinking, what they are thinking, how they respond to one another. The discussion board provides a place for the instructor to really have a window into the student's world, a window into their minds, a window into their learning. It can also be time-saving, and that's one thing we're going to get to, is how to manage that time, both for you and for your students. It can also minimize transactional distance. Transactional distance is a feeling of separation that the instructor may feel from their students. The students may feel from not only their classmates and their instructor, but also from the campus in general. The discussion board helps to form a place, or a sense of place, in the online world. Rather than just being digital, it actually gives kind of a three-dimensionality to the online course. Okay, what about for the students? What do the students gain from a discussion board? Because it provides a place for them to really kind of dig in, chew on the content, it helps them, depending on how it's structured. It can provide a place for them to develop higher order thinking skills, to transfer their learning to new situations. It also gives them a chance to be in different roles in the online world. The discussion board not only allows them to be student, but in many cases it allows them to be instructor. They can teach one another by dipping into the well of their own experiences, their own history, maybe even things that came from other courses. They can share with one another, reveal to one another. So it gives them a place to not only share with one another, but also to share with you. All of this goes into the pot to increase collaboration and community building. And again, it allows them to share their opinions and their beliefs, connect to their own experiences, reveal their own struggles, or respond to one another. These are important points too. The reason I've included these in this session on managing discussion boards is these advantages are things that the instructor can draw from in order to construct the discussion board forums. And you would say, now how is that relevant to managing discussion boards? Well, the reason that I went through the advantages to the instructor and the students is because part of management begins before you even log into Blackboard or even before you go online. It's important to take what you know from face-to-face, who you are as an instructor. All of those elements go into establishing what you want out of that discussion board. Planning before you build is a very, very important part of instructing in the online world. Establishing your learning objectives. In other words, what do you want your students to either know, demonstrate, show, look like, think like when they leave your class? How are you going to establish the learning objectives? Are they going to read and respond? Are they going to debate? Are they going to to share? Are they going to apply? Stating and clarifying those learning expectations for your students right from the get-go will make managing the discussion board easier for you later on. In addition, creating your assessment. How are you, the instructor, going to know? How are you going to be able to see them learn, recognize if they're getting it? How are you going to grade them? By what criteria? Having all of this in place before you even go into that course to post on the discussion board or write your instructions is very helpful to management.